And listen to what I just recorded and isolate the sound and get that Gmail account. This is what I'm saying. This is not a mistake.
Yeah,
there is an open mic on at NATO.
Right, they're trying to provoke a response, and actually.
Yeah, but how many people are watching this? Nobody. Who the fuck is on the NATO website right now watching NATO except, politicians and... That's why when I had the feeling to...
I mean, as long as it's like somebody listening to it. I don't know what I'm saying with that.
It's okay.
Die Frage kennen, also wir können sie nicht rausnehmen.
Ja, aber ich werde darauf verweisen, dass die Nicholson beantworten kann, weil das nicht mein Bereich ist. Ne? Ja. Ich werde auch diese Beispiele nicht bringen. Ich kann es nicht, ich habe nicht den Hintergrund, die Fakten. Was denn? Ah, ja. Okay. So, wie geht's dir, Kerstin? Gut. Wir hatten echt spannende Zeiten. Ja, aber das ist zu diesen Zeiten nicht so schwierig.
Das genauso wie immer. Abdullah, take the iPhone out of my picture. So, wir machen das genau. Das ist also ein kurzes Statement, was du schlicht und ergreifend nimmst. Eigentlich machen wir das ja gerne als Roundtable, nur wir haben eben keinen Roundtable hier. Das heißt, du kannst dann einfach gehen auf dieses I'm ready to take some questions. Wir nehmen die einzelnen Journalisten, die setzen sich dann hier auf diesen Platz.
Ach so,
damit die halt mit dir diese Interviews...
Ach so, die wollen alles aufnehmen, ja?
Alles aufnehmen.
Gibt's noch ein Wässerchen?
Du bist umgeben, das muss Aaron organisieren. Wo ist Uli? Könnt ihr noch ein Wasser organisieren?
Uli will hier bleiben, das soll
soll er Aaron schicken. Das ist ja auch in Ordnung. Du bist umgeben von Kameras. Das
ich
wird also wirklich überall her wird es aufgenommen. Wir holen den jeweiligen Journalisten, der die Frage stellt, hier auf diesem Platz. Der macht dann die jeweilige Frage. Wenn wir durch sind mit den Fragen, ich hoffe wirklich, das sind alle.
They literally don't know that there's a mic open.
Was immer sein kann. Wenn wir durch sind mit den gesamten Fragen, dann machen wir das Interview mit Samsama. Mit ihr fangen wir an. Sofern mit Samsama. Das ist das Voice of America.
Trust me, I'll get someone to translate this.
Also das kommt dann anschließend.
Und Jack kommt am Schluss, ja?
Und Jack kommt am Schluss.
Ja. Gut, vielen Dank.
Okay. Und das Wasser vielleicht unten auf den Boden stellen.
Ach was.
Klappt's?
Zisch da mal was zwischendrin.
Okay.
There's a hunger for peace, there's a thirst for water.
And now he's eating food. This is a live feed. This is a live open mic on the NATO site.
Symbolically about the financial system.
I just talked about this. Not more than 2 hours ago, I was just talking about this.
Yeah, maybe.
I said mistakes don't happen at fucking NATO. Security mistakes don't happen at NATO. If it's happening, it's meant to happen. This is not a mistake. You don't have an open mic on the NATO website and not know that you have an open mic. You're either fucking Jason Bourne or this is supposed to be happening and we're supposed to be hearing this.
I don't want to
diversify too much. And you know they charge for every
credit card, so I will speak up.
No, yours is fine. Yours is because you have a mic.
Ha! Can you hear me? Ich brauche mal einen kleinen Moment zu sammeln, ja?
There he is. He's wearing the American outfit. That's awesome that he used to be a, what was it? A theater coach, a theater teacher.
Yeah.
Why does it not surprise me? I knew I was onto something when I said Justin Trudeau looks like he's watched one too many TED Talks.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was picking up on something, man. I'm just going to film this till they figure out there's an open mic, because we'll never see this on the news.
Well, I mean,
because he is the stable genius, Mr. Ambassador, in our team. He is the stable genius.
Okay, very good. You need to have one. And who's the genie out of the bottle?
I'm telling you, if I give this video to, like, a sound person, they'd be able to isolate all these voices and isolate every single conversation that's going on right now.
yeah.
Kannst du mir gerade mal,
Well, it's like,
kommen die in der Reihenfolge, wie es hier steht, hier zu mir? Ich kenne ehrlich gesagt nicht jeden meinen Namen.
Wir fangen an mit Sharif, dann kommt Nasir,
Okay.
Not now, Purper.
dann...
Also
hier
Volks-
ist nicht hier, also
Ach
die
so.
ist weg.
Ach so.
Die ist sogar weg,
Mhm.
die kannst du vergessen.
Mhm.
Dann kommt... Wir machen es in der Reihenfolge. Also
Ja, ich
so
würde
die
auch sagen,
einfach
das wäre
weg.
nett.
Ich
Gut,
gucke da nochmal nach.
Ja.
So, okay, guys, for the order... Hallo. Kanjani.
it's like it's not live and it's just recording.
We do it in the order I have been writing it down, which is... Can I?
Ja, warte mal, noch einmal. Das war-
So we start with
Mhm.
Sharif.
Ja.
We do then Nazir. Then comes then it's your turn, Kanjani, and then comes Javed, and then comes Samsama. And after that, we're kind of switching over and doing the interviews, the two one-on-one interviews with you and Samsama. Okay? Where's Tahir?
Ja. Exactly.
I don't have any question.
The question you have to ask yourself is, how does this guy have a feed connected to the NATO site? Why are we hearing him?
Because it's,
Ja.
As long as we both are recording and going live. So that would be super wonderful if you could kindly answer to all questions.
all in all.
Not just that. No, they are angry with this. No, nobody's angry with this.
Okay, I see your point. But others might feel offended if I don't look to them.
They agree.
They agree?
National consensus.
Okay. Can you confirm it?
Yeah. Can you confirm that Mr. Ambassador is gonna see me when he is responding?
Yeah, to the cameras, okay. I will try to do so. So. Kerstin, can we go? Ja, can I? Okay. Kerstin, es geht dann jetzt los, ne? Ja, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, Afghan partners and friends, a pleasure to welcome you here today after the shall I rather speak Farsi or Pashto or Dari? What would you like? French? Or Dutch?
How many languages does this guy speak? You want me to speak Farsi? Then English, French, Dutch. Well, that should be easier to find out who he
Well,
is.
you're pros. Sorry? No, he doesn't, and I haven't switched my phone off. Let's see whether the strategy works.
And I haven't turned my phone off.
Well, good afternoon, or rather good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and Afghan friends. A warm welcome to the NATO Press Center. I've just been to a very successful meeting of the North Atlantic Council in the format of the Resolute Support Contributing States. Together with President Ghani and Chief Executive Abdullah. This meeting was marked by a very friendly and warm and cordial atmosphere. It reflected the strong support your country continues to enjoy and the solidarity shown by allies and their operational partners. What I would like to single out is that the Alliance made a number of commitments, and these are the following. One is to continue our resolute support mission in Afghanistan. The next one is that NATO and its operational partners will extend the financial sustainment for the Afghan security forces until the year 2024. So I think these are very important achievements. Other than that, the Afghan government and the Resolute Support allies and partners agreed to continue to cooperate on reforms across the board. Of course, first and foremost in the military sphere, but also in many other related fields like the fight against corruption. But then the Afghan government
Still recording,
a number of commitments in the field of bringing about credible
Still
and fair
recording.
elections and promoting a Afghan-led and Afghan-owned peace process, which of course has the full political support by the Alliance and its operational partners. I think peace is surely uppermost on the mind of the Afghan people since we had that historic ceasefire, an unprecedented ceasefire, which I think for many young Afghans and most of 50% of the Afghans are below 25 years old, was the very first moment in their life to experience peace in their own country. So the genie is out of the bottle, and it's about further promoting peace in your country. What was very heartening to heads of states and government was the spontaneous response of the Afghan population united with the enemy. I mean, we saw fighters, we saw members of the security force and the civilian population celebrating each together, hugging each other and united. So I think that could become a game changer. We need to capitalize on that momentum, and NATO and its operational partners do welcome the offer extended by President Ghani for unconditional peace talks extended to the Taliban. Let me just make one point. NATO is not an obstacle to such a process. We support the Afghan government in an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned process, and we also support the line of the Afghan government that in such peace talks the question of the presence of the international community and especially the military should also be on the table. So the onus is clearly on the Taliban to take up the offer made by the government, and they have to make a decision, and they have to understand that they can not win on the battlefield, but that they can secure a legitimate societal and political role in Afghanistan only through the negotiations. Thank you. Ulrich, hätte ich am Ende noch was sagen sollen? Conditions-based approach und so? Okay, gut. Yeah. Shall we face one another? And shall we look?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. To me and sometimes to the camera. I think it should be the camera. It's good. Yeah.
Okay. So, Sharif, let me just see the security situation north. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the situation north. Yeah. And the election.
Yeah.
And the election.
Oh yeah, election as well.
Thank you very much. I will definitely pay you. You're always talking about charging. Thank you very much.
Second. Yeah.
Should we go? Thank you very much for your time. My question is about the crisis in the north, especially in security and in the north after the arresting of Qaisari. It's about 7 or 8 days that the fire of Josan are under the protest and the government offices are closed. What's the position of NATO here?
Well, we are of course following the development very closely and monitoring the situation. I can assure you that Afghanistan is a sovereign country. We will not interfere into the Afghan political process. And from what I've seen today, President Ghani and Chief Executive Abdullah sitting next to each other at the table at the meeting with heads of states and government on Afghanistan, I gain confidence that this government, through wise leadership, will be able to find an inclusive solution which will be able to meet to the needs of the situation.
Today the NATO allies discussed the election and NATO calls for transparent election. And at the meantime, the two provinces, they closed the door of the Provincial Election Commission. And do you not think that these crises will badly affect it on election as well?
Could you repeat that?
The two provinces, which is now protests underway in Georgia and Faryab, and they closed the Provincial Election Commission office. The Afghan government not accept our demand, we will not allow, and we will close the election.
Well, the elections are still a couple of months away. As I said before, I trust that the Afghan leadership will be able to find a solution which will stabilize the security situation and will thereby also set the preconditions for the conduct of free and fair elections. And surely the Afghan government and all such efforts will have the support of the international community.
Yeah, last question about the... No? Okay.
Soll ich die vorletzte nochmal machen? Das war am Ende nicht so doll, oder? Ja, nee, aber ich mache nicht einfach hier Masse, ich mache Klasse. Ja? Ulrich? Okay. Mhm. Ja, eben. Mhm. Gut.
Where'd you put the remote?
Well, I didn't really move it. It should be.
Shall I look to...
Okay.
Yeah? No, but then I would rather have you here, if I may. Mhm.
Thank you, Ambassador Zimmerman, for your time.
What was that?
I'd like to ask about the commitment of Afghan
That's why I wanted the
government
volume on
reforms,
So when someone did whisper, it would pick it up.
Afghanistan's government and President Ghani announced inherent law, and through that law, he got rid of a number of hundreds of security personnel, many of them generals, and he set an upper limit of age of 57. But recently he appointed 23 generals, of which 9 are above that age limit. Don't you think that he's playing double standards, that when he introduces a law and then gets rid of people, and then does complete opposite and bringing his own people against the accepted law that he has proposed? Don't you think that should worry NATO, considering the increasing high numbers of casualties among the ANDSF?
Sorry, what is your question? Is it about retirement or the casualties within the ANDSF?
No, it's about the inherent law that the president announced.
Yeah. Okay.
And as part of it, the upper limit in terms of age is 57.
Yeah,
So
Nazir, thanks for giving me that clarity. I can only repeat, I mean, today at the Council, your president got a lot of praise for his reform course across the board, from heads of states and government. I know that the inherent law and its implementation is a key piece of the 4-year roadmap. It is designed to give young officers an opportunity to move up in the career ladder, young officers promoted on the principle of merits. So it is designed in order to bring about a further professionalization of your armed forces, which will help them to be more effective in their fight for stability and against the enemies. I'm afraid that I'm not familiar with all the details. I would advise that the objective of this reform process is to have promotions on the basis of merit and to rejuvenate the leadership of the Afghan army with a view to make it more professional.
If the president did hire generals against the terms of the law, don't you think that he would be deceiving NATO when he comes here in the summit and says that he has had so much achievement?
This is an allegation. I don't have the facts. I have no hints that your assessment concurs to what we perceive as a fact on the ground. So therefore, I have to limit myself to these comments. Yeah, I really take it up with the expert. And a reform process is not always a linear one. There can be hiccups, but I think the general trend is